Hi, I am Zaigam Hassan from Binary Semantics. Today we will discuss the integrated business planning. Business is not a thing, it is a process. Business is a risk, not a consolation or a comfort. We all know from our experience that the most critical element of a successful business is its planning. When it comes to business planning, the matter becomes very serious. A few things have to be understood before we enter into a beautiful presentation by Sanjay Kada, who is the subject matter specialist. There are three kinds of approaches organizations take in building their businesses. The first type of approach is of the drifters. Drifters go on performing business activities without any solid plan. Sometimes they become helpless against the powerful tides that show them. Sometimes their companies are pushed on by other companies. And sometimes they are driven by events over which they do not have any control. They just keep on doing business, not knowing what their goals are. They stumble from one phase to the other, from one crisis to the next, and from the one disaster to a new disaster. Sometimes they become very happy, and sometimes they find, whenever they find a lucky break or something. They do not control the circumstances, rather, circumstances control them. I call them the drifters because they function as a dry leaf in the wind. Eventually, their businesses vanish. The second type of approach is of the planners. Most of the companies fall under this category. They plan for success. They think they are intelligent and can anticipate everything. So they plan their workforce, purchasing, manufacturing, distribution, sales, finance, and almost all the activities, but they do it independently, not in an integrated manner. Despite their endless efforts, do they achieve their results? If yes, they can always anticipate unexpected? Obviously not, because it was only an illusion of planning which they were doing. It was not a real planning. The third type of approach is of the achievers. There are few organizations that go far beyond success. They also plan, but go a little beyond planning. They do some research, they do some kind of planning, but they do it differently. Planners think that they go beyond dependence and become independent, which will bring results. But here they make a mistake. While the achievers believe in the reality of interdependence, they believe in the essential laws of nature, they believe in the interdependence of functions. When they integrate various functions of the organization, the entire ecosystem works on a whole. At this moment, planning starts making a sense. Management of the business requires much more than the planning of individual processes. Success is possible only with the integrated approach. The internal business processes of a company consist of about 25 functions broadly. Apparently, these businesses seem to be independent of each other. However, during planning, every individual function influences certain factors. In other words, you can say, in order to reach the company's goal, the flow of information needs to be properly coordinated and harmonized with these functions. Practically, this becomes a very complex task. For enhancing the overall performance of the organization, a very high level of communication, coordination, and collaboration is required. Planning is not a real planning until and unless it is connected between various functions of the organization. This collaboration enables faster decisions and eventually leads to more excellent business performances. To understand this approach of integrated planning, let's take an example. The IT team of an organization is planning to implement a business intelligence software, say Cognos, which will eliminate the need of 80 people who prepare manual reports. They make this data available in the system. The HR team is planning the recruitment of headcounts for its new expansion. They can see from the system as to how many headcounts can be utilized from within. They also make their data available in the system. However, if the finance team who is planning the budget gets these data from IT team and HR team, they will be able to prepare a better budget. Thus, this approach of integrated planning enables the other departments to drop the assumptions and use the actual data for their planning. A plan which is based on the actual data is far superior to the plan made on assumptions. When this approach is applied to the whole organization, the outcomes are bound to be better. For better business results, better decisions are required. Better decisions depend upon better information. Better information means better accuracy and better availability of the information. To make the availability of information higher, all the functions should be backed by a tool which understands and connects the data intelligently. Unlike the prophecies of Nostradamus, which seems ambiguous, vague, or difficult to understand by an ordinary person, if the tool provides an NLP, the natural language processing, it would make everything much faster. So we learn from the achievers that the integration of the functions is the key to streamline planning, budgeting, and also forecasting. To adapt to quickly changing business conditions, we need one solution that creates a single version of truth. Today, the volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity are increasing. In short, VUCA is increasing. Teams in ordinary organizations spend an excessive amount of time in spreadsheet-based processes. Most of their resources go in collecting, consolidating, and validating the data. This manual and fragmented process is error-prone. The manual process, the reports, the budgets, forecasts are often slow down the decision, and hence everything is impacted. While the advanced organizations who are eager to grow adapt their operations models to function interdependently, they focus on increasing the speed of decision making, implementing radical changes in the work practices, and rapidly implementing transformational investments that can allow them to maintain productivity and meet customer expectations. These organizations are seeking faster and flexible solutions for deeper insights and more reliable foresight to steer business performances effectively. Probably keeping the customer happy is the goal of all the organizations. The ultimate goal of an organization should be to have a complete and accurate understanding of what exactly is driving the success in the business. In the absence of the right tools, organizations carry out the lengthy and resource-intensive planning processes. The market is very volatile. By the time this process is over, the information used for planning is obsolete or out of date. This results in incorrect budget, forecast, and other plans. On top of this, when internal communication is not integrated, poor coordination and lack of collaboration create a gap in understanding of the critical business drivers. This gap ultimately impacts the future performance. To perform integrated planning, organizations need a tool that can automate manual planning processes and help enable users to connect in-depth scenario analysis with visualizations. The tool should also be fast, flexible, and complete planning and analytics solution that can be deployed either on-premise or on a cloud. IBM brings a tool which can ensure agility, has an AI-infused solution that saves time and cost and helps us make more confident decisions. This tool has a Microsoft Excel interface to drive adoption while boosting performance. Next time, we will talk about more such solutions which Binary Semantics brings to its customers. These are next generation IoT enabled solutions. These futuristic solutions can integrate and automate functions like fetching of proof of delivery and pushing it to the ERP by linking the GST compliance e-invoicing e-waybill solution called GST Robo to its fleet management and vehicle telematics solution, Fleet Robo. It's a tremendous product. Then Binary Semantics flagship product, ViceOff, is already adding tremendous value to the vehicle insurance companies in enhancing their efficiency. So now I would welcome Mr. Sanjay Kela to talk about the tool and enlighten us on its functionalities. Mr. Sanjay Kela, over to you. Meet the tool. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Zegam. Very well articulated. And greetings to all. My name is Sanjay Singh Keda. I manage the data analytics business for Binary Semantics. Today we are here to discuss more about planning analytics, solution for planning. What is the importance of planning, the traditional planning vis-a-vis the way we do, an integrated one. So there is a very good saying by someone, if you can see on that screen, that we need to ensure we deliver value through changing technologies versus being a slave to our system. It means that we need to update ourselves, and that update should be with a continuous improvement. We do planning on a daily basis. That could be anything for our sales planning, financial planning, something for raw material, inventory and all. But stats is 52%, which is a decent number of the organization that covers a large and medium organizations are using spreadsheet for their planning. So they are not using any software application, any analytics tool for it. Around 30-34% is are using some solution, and more in that also 20% approx is using ERP. So we actually need to focus on that 50% number where we should use some decent analytics tool to do our planning. So when I talk about planning, analytics solution, so it should be in a way that whatever business model you are running, how complex your business modeling it, and how unique your requirements are currently, or you presume that it will be in future. So your tools should be in that way that it should scale to meet all the challenges. When I say all the challenges, it means it should be very agnostic to any of to allow data coming from any of the sources. It should be purely data agnostic, where you are connecting to multiple sources, whether it's ERP, CRM, any database, and it should be very agile. Agileness should be in a way that even a business user can do the changes and can understand. So the one who understands his data and his business very well can do planning in that. I don't need any functional support in the agile tool, right? It should be very the collaboration should be at a speed of now. Means it should be very fast. The moment I do any changes in the back end, it should be reflected in a in my front end report. So that should be I think a planning analytics tool should be. Some of the typical example could be it should be vertical agnostic. When I talk vertical agnostic, it means I'm not talking about one specific solution for one vertical. Having said that, if I'm a retail organization, I'm looking for something at a SKU level planning, right? It should be very seamless. There should be no problem in that. The same applies for any insurance company where I need to do some earned premium triangle modeling, right? If I talk about a manufacturing firm, anything for pertaining to my demand planning, forecasting, capacity building and all, right? So that should be seamless, and it should be irrespective to any organization, any vertical. We talked about the spreadsheet based analytics, right? Just a glimpse how we do it. So that's a very traditional way of doing, planning. So we have multiple data sources in any of the organization. It could be anything for the ERP, something from your CRM, something from your SCM and all. You have a data pool, a data warehouse. As a next step, what you do, you just convert that data from your source to in a spreadsheet. There are multiple spreadsheet that you need to work to create joins into it. Then on that basis you do some modeling that is purely manual, and run your planning engine through that. So that is the way you do spreadsheet based planning. There are some pros and cons to it. Pros could be that since Excel is our DNA, so it is very easy for us to understand, to consume at the same time to work on it. It is very flexible, and very ease of use. But if you see the disadvantage part, where this is completely manual process. There is no automation. Starting from your fetching the data from sources to converting it into some spreadsheet and then doing all manipulations and all. It is completely entirely manual process. The analytics that you are doing in silos. So I'm not talking about one integrated planning. I'm having multiple Excels. I'm working on that, and accordingly, I'm having multiple plans for the organization. So I'm not having one single version of truth, right? We are having it is very difficult to maintain all those different versions, right? And at the same time, since this is Excel or a spreadsheet, it's not very secure. When organization use a manual, disconnected process of doing planning, there are multiple. It leads to a different result, right? When I say different result, it means you have a disconnected planning between different departments. Financial planning is so your finance team must be doing a different plan. At the same time, your HR must be having a different plan. However, all are not integrated. So the analytics, whatever you are running is a different. You don't have a 360 view of your data and organization. Agility is not there. You'll not have a confidence on your data and accuracy, because whatever you are doing, it's a purely Excel based, right, or a spreadsheet based. So it all will lead to a lengthy and a painful planning cycle. The question that comes in a mind, or we should ask to ourselves, that are our plans are integrated? So are we having one view of our data, like a single view of our data? Are we getting the holistic view of our plan? So as Zegam quoted one very good example, where HR is having a different planning for, they're planning for some headcount, some salary structure and all. At the same time, marketing is having some plans for their events, planners and all. Sales is having some sales plan. They're planning some events, some forecasting. They are doing on that. Procurement is having some plans which is linked to the sales and all. But will not that be a good idea if all this has been integrated, and that will help a person who is doing capital planning and budgeting for the organization? So that is what when we say integrated plan. So as I mentioned in my previous slide as well, 52% or more than that mid-sized and large companies are still using spreadsheet to manage their planning. So the fact of the matter is that there's no effective communication between teams. There's no coordination and collaboration between the different stakeholders. So they are having different plans and goals for different departments. However, at the other end, when we talk about integrated planning, so integrated planning we do in a way that that helps a team to plan their things. At the same time, they are sharing their plans to different teams, which is that is in a way they are supporting others to influence their plans. So if I have something as a sales plan and I'm sharing this to my inventory, to my procurement and to finance, so they will also kind of get some input from there. It will be one integrated plan, right? So there's no longer so-called financial department planning. So each and every department is doing their plan, but the only case it should be very integrated one. So good decisions are always integrated. Whatever hierarchies we do have, whatever different vertical we do have, whether it's R&D, forecasting, workforce, inventory, marketing, financials. So if you have one integrated plan, that lead to one good coordinated decision, and that decision will drive a great business value. So that's a typical example of how different integrated plans could be. As I just covered into my previous slide, HR is having one plan for workforce planning, headcount, staffing, and all. At the same time, operations is having something from the demand planning side, supply side, and all. Marketing could be running different campaigning, something on the promotion planning, something from customer retention plan and all. Sales could be having different plans, same with the finance and IT. And if all those are integrated, all those are having in sync, So it will kind of help organization to have one decent strategy. It will be a collaborative decision making where we can take a better decision for the organization, and this better decision will result in to achieving better goals. So with all this, I'll stop my I'll hold my thoughts here, and in the interest of time, thank you so much for having me. Have a great day, and take best care of yourself. Cheers. Thank you.